Welcome to the Master SDET program from iTeLearn. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's quickly get into what is it that we are kind of trying to achieve with this program. So team, before I kind of get into talking about specifically this training, I would like to talk about why is it that we are doing this. One of the biggest reasons, team, has been very simple. It's become the skill gap analysis for me. I've been training people for the last 9 years on iTeLearn to make you all experts at software test automation. And then there's the current job market and today's industry, which is continuously talking about, it is moving, I believe, always a foot forward to us. So whatever we're training, whatever we kind of doing in our corporate world within iTeLearn, the students have found still a gap to finish. SDET, so welcome team, audience, tell me what is SDET? What does SDET stand for, team? And I also have a couple of hands raised. I look at that too. Viti, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I just want to say hello.
Hello.
Actually, I'm new to software testing. So I can able to answer all your questions in the following classes, I guess.
Let's hope I have all the questions. That's enough for everyone. Thank you so much, Vijay. Let me guide the audience on what this session is and what we're going to do. I'm asked for the SDET definition.
It's software development engineering test.
Perfect. Awesome. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yes. And what is it, the SDET, that's become very critical? It's a very simple story, team. I'm going to talk about, yes, and those of you who've been answering, I look for perfection even in your responses. So if you're putting something in the chat, team, kindly make sure that it's the right one. It's a very simple thing, team. Let's talk about this. A small highlight. In the world of software, right, everything starts with a pain, and then that gets converted to a requirement. The requirement, we then make it a design, and then say that let's go build or develop that, and then let's go take it live or into production and so on. Now in this whole cycle, within the development, somewhere towards the end came software testing. Within development, you have your requirements, you design a solution, you then go and develop and build that solution, and then you go live or launch it. The development phase is there, small one called software testing, where, okay, requirement is there, okay, you've designed, all right, you've developed. Let me see, let me take a look and try and identify what is happening before we go live. That is where testing came, right? Now, if testing came, somewhere towards the end of development, then what is it that the test engineers must do from requirement phase? Not much, right? If there is not a lot of activity that we can involve ourselves in code testing, there's a lot more we can achieve by being part of the overall SDLC, the software development lifecycle. And then came the point that let's start shifting left. That's called the shift left thing, where software testing does not have to start once development is complete. It can start at day one. Right from requirements as they're being built, we will start creating our test artifacts, create a complete testing suite of what we want to test, and start involving very early into the cycle. That became something called as shift left team. Now, this is pretty interesting how IT has really come through. And I'm very, in certain ways, sarcastically enjoying this because it is getting tougher, team. Absolutely tougher to be in this market. Now, again, we have your requirements, you have your design, you have your develop or build, and then you go production or live. And then I said that the software testing which came here, it slowly started to shift left. And they started to create requirements, test artifacts, and all this. Now, as while this is happening, what does shift left mean? That the SDET is saying, a software test engineer is saying, though my role is here, I will join into the activities of the total SDLC very early, and we are shifting left. And then there are a few of the development team who are saying that, you know what, all this is good, but I would love to do testing as well. In the whole world of testing, the only reason that the software testing as a discipline, as a function, as a program came up is because development started going berserk. They started creating too many defects. So in the whole process, test engineers will say, and we said one thing, we will do quality control and we will do quality assurance. That is my job. Now the developers started getting offended. How come you will come every day and say that I'm wrong, wrong, wrong? And they said, I will start doing testing as well. So shift left happened, where software test engineers want to start very early in the wave. And then another one where developers started doing testing. One of the first things developers by default always do is called unit testing, where they build something and they will test it. And now with software testing, QA and so on, becoming so much about automation, programming and all, developers, all the core software developers found, oh wow, you know what? This seems to be a great role. And then they said, let's do SDET. See how the attack is happening? QA is going shift left, developers are coming shift right. They're saying, I will test. Okay. And then came the software developer engineering in test, software development engineer in test. And that became a new role. So before I go on with the next slides, let me rephrase this once again, team, for all of you. Software development engineer in test. So you're basically a software developer developing engineer, but you belong to the testing team. You know coding, you know testing, you know BA, you know deployment, you know continuous integration, continuous delivery, everything. SDET is primarily right now the master of everything in IT. And the whole purpose of our reason here is how do we master this SDET? What is it that we can do? So if you're a software test engineer, let's say QA engineer or automation, your scope is very limited. As you keep going into this concept, you'll understand that this is the most important thing. And team, just to let you know, for all of you who believe that, now 1 second. Sorry, team, 1 minute. Sorry, all right, team. So, a lot of software test engineers who made their career shift to testing. In fact, there's another very important concept, team. This is critical, you know, for us to go forward. In the world of IT, everyone wants to get in. Why? Because it's a flamboyant job. First time, there were air conditioners, ACs that we call, put up in the room where the people were working on computers. Was that air conditioning cooling put for the human? No. It was only put to make the computers work, make those computers work, and make that not so hot, because they'll keep getting hot, the processors, RAM, ROM, everything. There's an inbuilt cooling system which every system, laptop, CPU, they all have. But then there's additional required. That's where air conditioning came. And it became an amazing desk job. So everyone wants to get into IT. The first thing that came up, if you want to get into IT, you need to know coding and programming. Now, coding and programming is something that's very logical, analytic thinking along with mathematics put together in a way where you know English, okay, I'll teach you Java, a different language, a way we can communicate with a computer. And then we kind of, you know, that became complex, very hard. So everyone started slowly getting scared of IT. Oh, this looks very complex. But eventually the whole purpose was how do we, you know, go about building applications, test it, deploy it, and so on. And then someone found a great way into IT with software testing QA. They said, you know what, I can be a QA engineer and I don't need to know coding or programming. And said, okay, great, brilliant. So all I need to know is understand a use case or a test case and see how user will use the application and try and reproduce or try and recreate, regenerate, just destroy the fact that, okay, this application works. Brilliant, great. And then came, you know what, QA as regular is okay. You'll put everything into an Excel and start testing. Now let's use something like a test management tool. Slowly the complexity started increasing. And then we started doing something called as automation testing. Once automation testing started, the basic same fact that made people afraid of getting into IT started happening, where coding, even for a software tester, became important. And before the audience started to learn coding to do something called as automation testing, then came shift left, and then came a lot of other things. This whole training team has only one purpose. I know what the industry wants. I know the gap that has to be filled, and we will do one weekend. We'll go through all these concepts, and we will ensure that the gap will get eliminated forever. This is not a program for software testing. If you are already in software testing, been working for at least 3 to 4 years, then welcome to. Let's quickly look at the agenda. I think I spoke about a lot of them, so I'll go through this now. Oh, okay, this is a brilliant slide. So now you know software testing, you know automation testing, through which people also try to get in to the IT, the entry to IT circle. And then here are the key things that the people, industry is constantly saying. Oh, you know what, Selenium? Great. You know automation testing? Great. You know frameworks? Great. Hey, do you know API testing? How about SOAP tool? Hey, you know what? By the way, mobile apps or SDET, BI data visualization, DevOps. These ones, team, are your key gaps to fill. If you wanna now continue in software testing, this is the way to go. Like I was saying, IT is hard to enter because of coding. People took QA as an entry mode to get in. Once they entered, the whole world started saying shift left, shift left, shift left. More coding we have to do. And then developers started entering right. And that kind of became the whole DevOps concept, where you build and you deploy. BI data visualization team is all about business intelligence. You take data, look at it, and try and make a business sense out of it. How will my business transform or change if I make a small adjustment to one of those parameters? Let us say, what if I decrease price? Or let us say, what if I reach a new country or continent for marketing? To be able to visually see them and put them together becomes CEO of BI and data visualization. The number 3 team here, SDET, is kind of a sum total which will even up and fill in all the gaps, all the cracks that we have of who a software development engineer in test is all about. And why is it that the whole of Silicon Valley, San Francisco, US, and even India started to think more and more about it. Then we'll talk about the importance of web services in today's world. Web services is one of the most first and foremost things that started getting tested in internet, where across the web we're saying, you know what, I don't have that information. Can you serve that request and push that information to me, please? That became web services, where we said application programs have to be interfaced. You know, all the XML and all these concepts came because of that, where we have a common way of communicating. In this whole process came mobile applications. 2007, iPhone launched team. And I was so glad. I was one of the first guys to stand in the line, not that I got the phone, and experienced that in US, in Los Angeles. And then after 5-6 months, I got that phone. Phenomenal. They have kind of transformed and created something called smartphones. With smartphones came applications. And applications, for once, first time, not created by the company. They said, here is the how you create an iOS mobile app. Take this software and start creating, and they gave it to outsiders. And they said, you build, we will deploy, let's share revenues. And then started that amazing gaming world on mobile applications team. First started games on these iPhones and iPhone 2. With that mobile apps now going stronger and stronger, the whole concept of web services and the mobile app kind of got interlinked. It's very critical to keep that in mind. Even if you just have something called as a web application, the concept of UX engineers, which is user experience engineers, is if you want to develop a software application, keep 1 second, please. There's a keyword called mobile first. They said you build for mobile applications, for that screen, for that configuration, and then it should also work for web. And web application, web developers, WordPress, HTML, CSS developers start saying, you know what, web development simple, web services, XML and all these things. Let's start talking more. Now came up, formats like JSON and so on. All you need to do, team, is talk about these concepts very strongly, because these are new areas in a different shape. BI data visualization has always been there, from the pivot and charts through Excel to a tool called Tableau in today's world. Web services also has always been there. Mobile app testing kind of came up later. And then they said, you know what, I'm tired of you boring QA engineers. Let's do SDET. Become more of a software development engineer and test who can also do coding. Or you're a developer already, now you have an easier job for testing. Go there. And then let's operate the entire IT development. Talk about deployment, build, continuous integration, continuous delivery. That became DevOps. I'm not saying that you all can master these things, team. What I'm saying that these are the new things in the market. No one can come and say, I have 10 years experience in any of these. They cannot do that. So it's a fresh market. If you have an awesome QA background, software testing, manual testing, maybe automation, doesn't matter. 2-3 years where you know the concepts of it. You take this training, which will be only focused to do skill gapping. And this time, I won't take a project to teach you. I'm not teaching you, team. I'm just mugging you up. You know what I'm saying? I'm preparing you for that job market. That is all I want to do. I've been only teaching concepts, team. I've not kind of really focused on teaching how to go get the job very seriously. This weekend training will make certain that your gaps are filled enough concretely for this new market. And that is what we're going to focus on. Let's take a quick look at what all do we have. And then I know, Ashna, I have to do a few polls as well. Let me go a little forward. I'll come back to the polls. All right, what do we have? DevOps and Agile. Just read the words, team, nothing else. Some will scare you, some will frighten you, some will excite you, does not matter. We will get over them, we will understand it, how to implement, work with all these concepts and tools, and go with a confidence that, yes, I'm the right guy. I'm a QA engineer who also knows DevOps. And one of the first things, team, that you look at is this version controlling in Git. Very early in my IT career, I passed out of my engineering in 1998. I've been in the IT industry for the last 20 years. And I think at least I have 40 years experience because I did a lot of OT. OT is overtime. I had a job, then I kept working for my own business in IT on the side. Always did that. With that exposure, one of the first things that I learned is called version control, where I make a change and then I have a team member, they need to look at that and also start working on the same thing. And then came something called as VSS. I think it's called SVN, subversion, and so on, where it is all about controlling versions. Do you all know the concept? Sorry, team, I'm losing my throat. Give me a second, please. Right. So there's all this concept of where you maintain documents in a team where others are also working. Always remember, team, 20 years ago, there was actually no internet publicly. And then came Sabir Bhatia with Hotmail and said, you know what, this is it, and Microsoft bought that company. VSS, about version controlling, if we stayed in the same office where we had computers and air conditions to cool not the humans but the systems, I had to take something called as a floppy drive, copy things in one machine and put it and paste it into another machine. That's how files start getting transferred. And then came something called local area network, where they said, you know what, we're sitting in the same office, why don't we connect computers? And the first LAN cables, SG cables started coming. And then they said, oh wow, great, local area network came, let's do wide area network, WAN. And then said, you know what, it's all global. This whole concept of version control and how we manage deployment is what is total DevOps team, total development operations. How do we deploy things? Git is in today's world one of the popular ones, where it's called a Git repository. It's like a Google Drive. It's like your hard drive. You go put your files there. You link that with your Eclipse or any other IDE, and you have a team of people working worldwide saying, you know what, I want to work on this code. Can you check out? I will check in. I will make changes, and let's do this. And it didn't start there. It didn't stop there. And can you see the transformation now? Git is today's good tool. Then there's Maven, Jenkins, and Apache, Linux platform as Linux. One of the great things that I saw, and still is not realistically true, is this whole concept of continuous integration, continuous deployment through Jenkins, where your builds are created, everything is set up, you run. This is all developers team here. All right, there's nothing called software testing in this. We start going shift left. Developers said, I will become SDET. Where is your edge now? Selenium is no longer edge team. Selenium is a given. You have to know automation testing and Selenium, period. What else do you have, dear software test engineer, is the question that market is asking. And that whole concept, sorry team, not been doing well on my throat. Apologize for a bad voice for such an interesting session. Has been put under an umbrella called DevOps. We will go through mastering this fact. That's it, team. And like I said, right, I have a prerequisite. I hope you come with a baggage of tools and skills and at least a little experience before I move forward onto detailed training on this. Next one is BI data visualization team. This is brilliant, one of the smoothest things. You put your focus on us, iTeLearn, in what we are doing. Keep watching. Do not get bored in life that should I watch a Netflix or a regular YouTube or a WhatsApp shared video or iTeLearn. If you want career, you want focus, stay with us team. Very simple. If you're serious about building a career, keep following us. We started a Tableau training by an amazing data scientist called Rahul Singh. He is a brilliant data scientist and I've been interacting with him for a long time. Give us the audience. We will show you what is BI. We'll show you what is data visualization. The magic in it. Very simple team. I'll tell you how this is linked with software testing. Okay. Before I do that, are you all with me? Are we okay? Are we going the right direction? Any questions? Can I take a minute and check with my members, please? iTeLearn team, you could also add if everything's okay, something is a challenge for our audience.
All fine, Karthik.
Thank you. So why BI data visualization with software testing? See, always keep thinking. You're saying SDET, why BI? Very simple. First is you have a test management tool. Then you'll create something called as modules with it and test cases. Each of them have test steps. What you do is you run or execute those scenarios and test cases. You get results. Now, there are 5 modules, 500 test cases, sorry for the zeros there, and maybe 5,000 steps. If my report has to be seen by an engineer in test, fair enough, they will go through line by line. But what if I am a CEO or even general, a CXO? A CXO is take that X and replace with anything T. All right, that's what a CXO is. I have no time to look at row by row, column by column. I have no time to, absolutely nil. I want to visualize my business, generate better reports. Show me a chart, show me a pie graph, show me something that I can interact, and then start with Excel and all that. Amazing pivot tables, charts came up to me. Very brilliant. There's nothing more needed in this IT world than in Microsoft Excel. Even today, that's my true belief. That's all we require actually to keep IT running. And then they said, let us make this interactive, where someone who's serious about the concept of business and the only reason why an industry is together, let us assume that CEO role, wants to see, hey, you know what happened in the month of Jan, Feb, March? Let me click. Let me touch that specific thing on the bar and go deeper. And that is called dashboard visualization. A simplest example I'll give, and you can relate forever, team. Think of an automobile, a car. There is a driver who sits in the front seat and drives the vehicle. Now, the driver has something called as a car dashboard, where without turning the head, without moving too much of eyeball, they have all the information of the vehicle in front of them. What speed, what gear, what mileage, how much, where, what, indicators, oil, everything. That is a dashboard. And to make the dashboard intelligent, where you can press and what next? Oh, you know what? I need to fill gas in 5 minutes. I want to see what's next. Came up this digital displays and all that with the cars. In the whole world of software engineering, visualizing how a company is going, right from that to an application, if a single step failed, is critical. A software engineer has to look at every step. A CEO has to look at the dashboard and know what is happening with our business and take critical decisions. And this is the future, team. Software programming, testing is going to get automated. Visualization is the only thing in the whole galaxy that can never get automated, because you have to see, you have to visualize, you have to react. Everything else you can automate. This skill, stay with it. It's got at least more than your lifetime job opportunities. All right, let's see next. What's the agenda? Is it? So, we'll put everything together in a very meaningful way. People will talk about your database testing skill, your web services. They'll talk about mobile app. They'll ask you questions from every nook and corner. And it is very unfortunate of two things, team. Two things, okay? Remember this, always remember, but go with a lot of respect. Okay, never lose respect. If you lose respect, there is no reason why we will do what we do. Remember that. The reason is very simple in terms of how people have become more and more protective of their jobs. First is all the software test engineers started entering the market by getting trained and had unfortunately, and I don't blame, had to unfortunately fake the experience at least for the first time, second time. After they got that initial 2-3 years, they have a genuine resume which will do the trick. Awesome. And then that is the job seeker thing. Now there's a job interviewer who also maybe have come up in the same line, and then they're 3 years sitting in the interview panel. All they're trying to do is, how can I be the worst interviewer? And the reason I'm saying this, team, I'm not generalizing. I've seen superheroes and heroes. My respect goes high. And that's why I still am in the IT industry. They want to, check, who's going to come into the team? Because today's world is in the IT has become more creation rather than save my job concept. All right. Whatever we are doing in this program is talking about you becoming the hero team. That's it. Not save your job. No, I don't know. You will go master this. It is not a challenge. One at a time. The 30, 40, one at a time. Let's start doing and let's start keep going. API web services, I spoke already. SOAP has become a popular tool. We started deploying a lot of our trainees, consultants into the job market. We, in fact, started consulting only this year, team. And thank you so much. Ruxana came on board. She's heading our entire global QA. And, we want to make sure what does the client want, what do we have, and what do we give. In all this, I felt, wow, all is great, but we are missing some gaps. And let's focus on them. Sometimes just an interview perspective, not a problem. Sometimes concept, sometimes project, no problem. We will get you deployed onto the market and we'll continue to support team. Without support, you can't do anything. API, application programming interface, SOAP as a tool for UI testing and web services is becoming more and more and more and more essential. There's like default. Like if you don't know HTML, you don't know a lot of software, that's how it is. How can we take those and go into the depth? A lot of REST concepts are coming into the place, team. How do we interact? And see, all this, end of it is how do we take data from one place to the other, and simple extended markup language, XML, has come into place. That's it. And the whole concept of data going from one source to the other in a simplest, universally understandable way is XML. Now, is everything going in the world of, if I have, let's say, one website, there is a Google ad in my website. So Google ads.google account.whatever.com has to keep serving that ad. Then let's just say there is a chat box, there is a Facebook link, there is a Twitter account, everything is linked in. There is no independent website by say anymore. They're all integrated, they talk to each other. And that is why I've seen a trend of at least significant requirement that how good are you with your web services. And that is the other topic you really should focus. Mobile app testing. I don't think mobile app testing is rocket science, team. We all use mobiles. We all have smartphones. We all have mobile applications, Android, iOS. Sorry for BlackBerry and others, but and Microsoft also has its apps. You have applications. You are the user of an application. You find an issue, you will feel annoyed, and that has to be tested. Now, your role is to test it and leave no stones unturned. That's it. Now, your platform is changing, team. We have not even got to concepts of IoT, which is Internet of Things, how machine learning and deep learning will kind of transform this industry. No. Mobile apps you use, you know if it's working or not as a regular user, I'm saying. The whole world is right now mobile first concept with the user experience thing. You will need to test these mobile applications detailed. So this one, I'm not too worried. And thank you so much, Sharmila, for coming on board to help us with mobile app testing. We have so many new trainers, team. And this is an orientation session to guide you, to tell you what we are doing in this program. For each of this, I don't think I am an expert. I know it like overall, this is how it fits into the whole game. I am now getting about 4 or 5 awesome trainers of ours to come in and to keep going deep and deep into this, each and every one. So team, a lot of things to do from mobile app testing as a structure. One of the biggest things is field testing, network testing, device testing, 4G, Wi-Fi, battery low, battery up. How does the phone work when incoming calls come? What happens to my app? Does it go in standby mode? Does it crash? What happens if I have text or notification? All these things, team. If next time when you look at a mobile application testing, if you're serious about an IT career, look deeper into your cell phone, into your smartphone. Keep looking deeper. There's a lot of intensity and packing that software industry has done in that small device. It took an Apple and a Steve Jobs to take the brilliance of a personal computer and put that into a small personal handheld smartphone. All the richness of a beautiful web application and the functionality and the power is being zipped, packed together and put into a mobile app. Now, all you have to do is think like that from now. Look at a mobile app differently. Try and be a critic. And one of the toughest jobs, team, in life is to be a critic with a smile and still get respected and loved. As a software test engineer, your job is to find defects, but not really, team. I'll change it to one more thing. There's a fault finding and there's a fact finding. I myself am an ISO 9001 certified internal company auditor. So I do process auditing teams of large CMMI level companies. I take them through their capability maturity models on stage 1 and so on. In the whole processing, you just have to focus, go deeper, one step deeper, one step deeper. It is not fault finding. We're not trying to find faults with anything. See how we're becoming diplomatic so that people will listen to us as a critic and take corrective action and improve things. And we say, you know what, by the way, by the fact, it's a fact finding exercise. That is how mobile apps have to become more and more critical now, where you keep on finding where the loopholes are on the overall application and make amendments to it. Wow, okay, what else we have? Here's the ideal trainees, QA professionals, developers. I think everyone in IT should jump into this. Everyone in IT must jump into this program. That's period. You want to save your IT job? Great. If you're someone with 20 years in experience in the IT like me, don't worry. You don't have to come, right? You decide, team. If you're someone who's got 7, 8, 9 years max, I think this is going to be an amazing program. This is not just for software test engineers. We see shift left, shift right, everything is going to apply. Prerequisites, I think we're too lenient with 1-2 years of QA experience, because it will take me at least another month to get you there and then teach you SDET like this. I would strongly recommend 3 years team. If you don't have 3 years of IT experience, it's going to be a little tough because it's a fast track. But if we have 4 or 5 days, then maybe we can play a video of series of one of our trainings to get you there. That's possible too. Okay, let me figure out on this. Since I've mentioned it, we'll see. Oh wow, or has strong QA knowledge. That says it all. There you go. All right, team. So here's the schedule. Here's the program. Questions. I'm open now, and maybe a few poll questions that I'll throw in. Any questions from the audience? Team, keep it open. You are here, you spent an hour with me, or at least 40-45 minutes, invested time with me, make that count. Don't loosen up, close your windows, start watching something else on system. Don't get deviated, guys. This is important. If you're here, let's make it sense. Ask questions, everyone. Everyone must ask questions. And in this group of training, I'm going to individually know everyone by the name because I want to see how we are developing you. So I would like to hear from everyone. What questions? Anything. All right. How long is the course? It's just one weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday, 15 hours, 7.5. That's it. 15 hours straight, end to end, one weekend. Hi Deepa, how are you? Who has a hand raised? You also can raise your hand if you have a question. I have been seeing job postings where SDET role needs to know a DevOps tool. Oh yes, you're right, Rizwan. Do we have DevOps training in iTeLearn? Even DevOps is a transition for QA. Very well said, Rizwan. It's an awesome transition for a QA expert. I think we need to find a footing, and DevOps will definitely do that. You're right. So to answer that, does iTeLearn have a specific training in DevOps? No. I and my team, all of us have been working on DevOps. Why? We have Amazon S3. I have Amazon CloudFront. We use many more sources, Jenkins, Mavens, Git, to large extent, Trello, for example. All these things are there, but not as a structured one thing. Now we're putting it together as a program. How much price for this training for 2 days? The fee came up as $399, but how much price for a career of your lifetime? How much is the value of your hour? I'll give you the simple concept, then you tell me. If you get into a software testing job, let us say in the United States of America, your pay will be somewhere like $40 an hour average, maybe low case 30, 25, high case 55, 60. Let's take 40. $40 per hour is what you will make, right? So your time has value. You are at $40 an hour. Each of you just gave me a $40 for being here. That says the main thing. It's a 15 hours program. If you charge outsiders for $40, let us say we kind of put it at $20 and so on. How much would it come? What is your cost of time? Look at it. Investment of time is more critical. We will get funded for education by our parents and spouses. Do not worry. All right. Anywhere you go, team, and say, I want to learn, can you give me money? No one will say no. Believe in that. So do not get overworked on how much is it, how much is Udemy doing, how much is that guy doing in Ameerpet sitting one-to-one, face-to-face with me on Skype. So team, I want you to take a good decision. I will be annoyed if you do not take that. All right. Let us go beyond. We're talking big things here. We're talking transformations of career. fee should never be a constraint to talk about. Do you provide any project to work on? For SDET, I don't have a project right away team. This is more like job preparation, interview preparation, grooming, taking you there. All right. But as we go through SDET with all our members, Manoj is going to come back for SOAP UI, teaching that and so on. We will definitely find projects post the training. It's a 2 days intense thing, right? I can't get deviated into project right then. But what we're going to do is once you get onto your job and start working, we will ensure there's an awesome job support. We will technically be your back office team. I have QA knowledge but don't have any experience. I tried applying multiple jobs on QA, but nothing worked. What should I learn to get? Okay. Team, the whole concept was saying entry to IT, right? Everyone saw the air conditioners and the awesome good dresses and going and working in a comfortable environment in front of a system. So people always had eyes on IT. They saw a couple of entry points. One is BA, business analysis. Other is QA, quality assurance, to come into it. Once they started coming, it didn't stop. And now, if you just say, hey, you know what? I have 3 years of manual testing experience with HP, ALM, and Jira, and Bugzilla. They'll say, oh, good job. Which school are you in? That's it. They will not even ask you which company do you work with. You need to go like a peacock in today's world. Your specialty has to be a tool expert. I'm going to be the tool advisor. I'll say, show what each tool will. So getting a job with a typical QA skill ain't going to happen anymore, team, unless you know someone into the organization and you go that way. All right. So that is exactly what we're tackling in this program, team. We're going to take you there. I want hands-on. This training, there's no demo session and so on. Once you come in, I'm going to close the door online and in class at Hyderabad, India. I'm going to close the door and we'll work. It's going to be a very closed door training, team. Deep. Okay, let's see. What's the course agenda? How can I benefit from this training? When registration, it showed we will get a chance to work on Workasa. Can you brief it? Thank you. Okay, great. So team, I've been in the software world for a long time. One of my key roles has been a client partner, a business development manager, account manager in the IT industry for over 11, 12 years. That's been my core role. And I've represented Fortune 5, Fortune 3, startups, all the way. Now, just to let you know, team, I don't think I ever boast. I worked with companies like General Electric, Major League Baseball, New York Times, Washington Post, Cisco, Cadence, Citibank, Fidelity, everything. And each of them have taught me something in the corporate world, right? When I started doing training, I went with a pure, simple, you know what? Someone is not teaching right. There's a better way to teach. You know what? Frameworks are not developed correct. Like there's a better way to develop automation frameworks. And I got onto that and I kept teaching. In the whole world of business development, client partner, account manager, sales guy of IT, all I was doing was consulting. Every month, I used to deploy about 20 to 25 on-site resources in the United States, and maybe about 40, 50 people keep hiring every month in India. For about 12 years, I kept doing this thing. Now, and then I realized they're all like interview, a lot of them, you know, a lot of challenges. I'm talking a little negative also, I don't like, but I'm trying to motivate and, you know, pump you up on that fact. And then I thought, you know what, I don't want to just do consulting and make money, like body shopping. I know someone, I'll take $10, I'll put you there. There should be a value add to that whole system. And I kind of kept on going back and I said, I don't want to do regular consulting, let me productize and structure it. And I came up with QA on it. I've not yet like publicly launched that team, I'll come to that. But the whole point that I'm trying to answer to that question, when registering it showed we will get a chance to work on Workasa. Once you build this team, I don't want to expose you to the market. I want to hold you with us and then go together and do projects. I want you to go as a consultant for 2-3 projects, not just one client. We will talk, we will rule. It's a new skill. You market this, we go into the market, you will get attention. All right. So we will have a lot of internship projects and actual projects that we will continue after the weekend training. This is only for online training, very simple. Whatever we will do, we will also do online. If I have enough audience, I will also do it in person in Hyderabad. Couple of us trainers are there in Hyderabad this weekend, and we can take a nice place, maybe 50, 100, 200 seater thing and do that. Do you provide job support in Dallas? I think you should answer your own question. Once you go through this training, you should be able to find a job anywhere on the planet Earth where IT and software testing is there. That is what my intent is, team. That is my energy level to get you there. Let's see how we go with our actual implementation. What is it? Job support team. Job support means maybe to get into a job, yes. And then once you get into a job while you're working, you know what? I'm stuck. I don't have an answer. And tomorrow morning I have to deliver this questions. How will I do it? Let's go. Come back to us. Tell us what it is. We will work overnight. Give it to you. You go sleep. That's job support. If that sounds good, then join us. Is this Master SDET training in Hyderabad? Master, everything in iTeLearn is online team. I will also do in Hyderabad. This one. Yes. Our team, I think I've answered most of the questions. I'm assuming we're all good. iTeLearn team, anything that I'm kind of missing? Vandana, Ashna, Ruxana, Shagor. Shagor is another amazing trainer. I am so super excited. Shamila Shagor, a lot of new trainers, great blood coming in team. It's going to transform. I don't think iTeLearn is going to become an open platform team. Open, just come. The beauty of teaching, knowledge, that's what we want to read. I'm going to unmute some of my key members. Sushmita, I don't know. Okay, one second. Ruxana. How come I know so many of your names? It's interesting. I think Ruxana is. Hey, Shagor. Hi, Shamila. Great. I kind of thought you may want to add a word or two of what I'm saying.
Sure. Just give me 1 second. Let me just make sure my audio is good. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Louder could be a little better, but that's fine too.
Okay. No, I just want to thank you for the kind words. But yeah, we're really excited about this program. And this looks like this is a very good package for all the participants. I think I also agree with yourself and most of the other participants that this is the future. I have been hearing about this program for a while. I know a lot of the job requirements are asking for this. This is not only going to be. This is already in very high demand.
Yes.
I think whoever wants to take advantage of this opportunity, this is the right time. Don't wait any longer, and this is really exciting program to go with at this moment.
Yeah, very well said, Shagor. I think this is niche. This is the thing that is blue-eyed right now. We should all target this thing. If you work for 3 years, 4 years, I don't know. Work for 1 weekend. And I think this is a skill that the market requires. Thank you, Shagor.
Thank you. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you, team.
Thank you. All right. I think I'm good. There was one question. It's a long one. I'm going to take a minute to try and read this team. And you know what I'll do? Ash, okay. I don't know if I can put, I was trying to copy questions and put it, team. I'll kind of read it, just take my audio thing with you. I have 11 years of experience in software testing. I'm looking for a career transition to DevOps. Would you recommend transition to DevOps after 11 years of career in software testing? Reason being, there are very less job openings for QA. After 11 years, even for SDET role, industry hours experience, after 10 years and so, doesn't matter, team. I'll tell you a simple example. I have 20 years experience and I luckily moved to more entrepreneurship, and sales and technology. Can you imagine how many of my classmates, my batchmates are still stuck with technology? And there's a guy, my classmate with 20 years experience. I'm taking an example. This is very common, team, who's sitting next to someone with 2 years experience in IT who knows DevOps and getting more paid. Right? That is the fact. What is it that you know today? It's not what I have. Like, my 20 years of IT industry experience does not match to what may happen in the next 2 years, team. It's an extremely fast-paced environment. We just kind of need to get connected and keep going through it. Awesome. I'm glad. I hope we're all good, Ashna. Anything else from my end on this? I couldn't do too many poll questions, but I think we're good. Maybe. Vandana?
All good, Karthik, as of now. Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you back for the training. And the only taste I want you to have is not a taste of fear, but a taste of excitement. And that, this seems possible. Let's go do this. All right. Give us 1 weekend. And hopefully we'll together transform ourselves. Thank you, everyone. Take care. All the best.